The welterweight division is very competitive right now. Recently Edwards and Usman trilogy took place, where surprisingly Edwards outboxed the Nigerian. Now the next opponent for the Brit, as far as I'm concerned, is Khamzat Chimaev. There is no other fighter in the welterweight division right now who can compete in the title race against Khamzat. Hello fighters. This is the World of MMA channel with you. In this video, I'm going to give a prediction on a high-stakes bout between Khamzat Chimaev and Leon Edwards. But before starting this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like it, so that as many people as possible can see this video. As I said above, right now there is no fighter in the welterweight division that can beat Boers. The Edwards and Covington fight is being considered right now. However, it's not 100% confirmed yet, so Khamzat Chimaev could very well go out and try to take the belt from Leon Edwards. I think it's a perfect chance for him. They tried to organize their fight several times, and we hope that it will work this time. The main thing is that Khamzat must fight at welterweight limit. In this video we will try to understand if Khamzat is able to bring the belt to Chechnya. Will he be able to make weight up to welterweight limit, because last time he did not manage to show the figures he needed on the scales. You will learn all this if you watch till the end of the video. Well, we will not delay and finally proceed to the breakdown of skills. Well, let's start with the champion of this weight class, Leon Edwards. Rocky in the last fight showed all his intelligence and ability to hit the bullseye. After that fight, I realized one thing. If he punches with accuracy and power, his opponent doesn't get up. That was in the second fight. In the main promotion of the world, when Edwards managed to KO his opponent in 8 seconds. The same fate awaited Kamaru Usman, who also felt the punching technique of Leon Edwards. Rocky has all the punching skills necessary to call himself the best puncher in the division. Elbows, high kicks, knees, all of these limbs the champion has flawless command of. It is not part of his plan to knock out his challenger. He methodically dominates his opponent throughout the fight. Now let us move on to the striking component of Khamzat Chimaev. I have already mentioned his striking skills in various predictions, so I am not going to say anything new. He has no striking technique, that's a fact. He cannot smash his opponent at a distance like Edwards. But he has that wrestling power that has shocked the world many times. Ikram Aliskerov and Gerald Meerschaert felt the full force of the Chechen power perfectly. No one expected anything like this from Khamzat. Everyone thought he was a one-sided wrestler who couldn't show anything on his hands. But as you can see, he has a trump card in punching technique. Can he catch Edwards with his punch? Probably not. In the early rounds, I don't think Leon will be able to concentrate enough to throw any punches. I think Leon Edwards is the favorite in this aspect. You understand the variety of punches. Plus we know he's dangerous in every round and you can't afford relax. Now we move on to the wrestling skills of both athletes, where the Chechen fighter emerges as the clear leader. Khamzat Chimaev, I have also repeatedly commented on his wrestling, which many bloggers have forgotten to mention. Khamzat is truly a beast in this aspect. So far no one has been able to compete with him in wrestling. Amplitude transfer and tough beating throughout the round. After, you're either waiting for a stoppage and a TKO win for Khamzat, or pain and you're forced to tap, or else the broken bones will keep you awake. Next up we have Leon, where to be honest he surprised me in his fight against Kamaru. He spent most of the fight defending against attempts to move the fight to ground. Yes, a few times Usman managed to transfer the Brit, but most of the attempts were successfully stopped by Leon. Against elite wrestlers, Edwards has trouble almost every time. I'm sure Colby will be able to control him around the cage and maybe even transfer him. Chimaev has no problem with taking down the champion in the first rounds, but against fighters who have a more mixed style of fighting, who are not wrestlers or punchers and know both aspects. These are the types of fighters that Edwards will be able to wrestle and control. That was the case in the fight against Rafael dos Anjos. Well, against Boers, the game plan of the fight with the Brazilian is unlikely to happen. Khamzat will be considered the favorite in the wrestling. He's much bigger than Leon. He's been learning the basics of wrestling since childhood. He will simply be better than Edwards in every aspect of the wrestling game. In terms of stamina, Leon has no complaints. Every fight he fights is a run into deep water, and every time he fights, if I may say so, he gets away with it. In his second fight against Kamaru, he was, you could say, destroyed in every aspect. He was wrestled, he was beaten, and it seemed that by the 5th round he shouldn't have had any strength. But how he surprised, he knocked out the champ for good, and from that moment on I knew that Rocky has a really phenomenal cardio. And also in the trilogy with Usman, he went all the rounds without any problems. But you can't say that about Khamzat. In practically every fight he finishes his opponent, thus leaving big questions about his stamina. Only once did he make it through a full fight. That was in the size of 3 rounds, where he showed that he might have trouble at that distance. So the favorite would be Leon Edwards. In terms of spirit, I will also believe in Rocky. He was able to come out of the second fight with Usman when it looked like he'd lost. Not every fighter can do that. Chimaev only showed that if his opponent starts to fight him, he will start to fight him too, and that's why I picked Leon as the favorite. Think Leon Edwards is going to win this fight. I think he'll give Chimaev the first rounds to work on. He's going to get really tired by the end of the second round, and that's when Edwards' main work begins. The wedge, the sharp elbows, the knees. The entire arsenal of the Leon will be used by the Boers.